Well, I'd like to welcome everybody to Monday night at 7 o'clock, and actually we're a couple minutes late. This is Knightline, and we're live, and we're brought to you tonight by, as usual, Astral Industries of Lynn. If you need a job, if you're looking to switch careers, if you just want to find out some information, just head north on 27, and you'll head right into Astral Industries and go talk to the people over there. My name is Rick Fletcher. I'm a familiar face, but my co-host tonight is going to be Jeff Matthews. Jeff, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
All right, so I'm going to brag up Jeff a little bit. Number one, he's our wrestling analyst, right? You're an old-time wrestling coach, right, Jeff?
Yeah, I did that for a long time.
And we're going to talk a lot about wrestling tonight, so we'll get into that soon. Also, Jeff is a Hall of Famer, okay? From Union County High School just a few weeks ago, right? Not that long ago, you were inducted into the Union County High School Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, you know, we have royalty amongst us, Jeff, and, you know, welcome aboard. We appreciate you coming. And we're going to, and like I said earlier, we've got probably three main things we're going to talk about tonight. Number one, boys basketball, their season moves on. They're actually heading toward sectionals. That's not that far away. We are going to talk about wrestling and some of the frustration for us that happened. I'm going to touch on that here in just a minute. But wrestling, we have 4 wrestlers here at Northeastern heading to semi-state. So we'll discuss that. Todd Kroll's going to be here. He's going to be our guest. And we're going to have a lot of discussion with Todd about wrestling, and really with the Knights wrestling program, Jeff. Really a good year for them.
Very good year for the Northeastern Knights.
Yeah,
Very good year.
Well, and if you've never been to a wrestling match, you got to go. And if you go, take Jeff with you because you learn a lot, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, wrestling's a great sport.
Throw out the sailor word part.
No, you'll clean it up for our studio audience here. And girls sectionals, we're going to discuss that. It was a great sectional. The Knights won the sectional, and back to back for them. And they're going to be moving on and heading to regional against Heritage Christian. We'll have a whole segment on that. We'll kind of break down the sectional and, you know, break down the other teams, you know, moving forward, and we'll discuss that. Couple things I want to mention before we get going here is congratulations to the Knights cheerleaders. They were in sunny Florida. I heard it was 80 degrees. They were competing there. So while we were looking at the gray skies and the cold temperatures, they were down there over the weekend.
And that's a good thing for them. What a good experience for them.
Well, I tell you, back in my day, if we made it 2 towns over, that was our trip. You know?
Sure.
And these young ladies, they went all the way to Florida. Disney World, I think, is where they were. We'll talk to the cheering coach at some point, and they'll come in and they'll describe to us what they did and how it went. But you take a bunch of girls down to Florida, it's got to be fun, right?
It's probably fun. I'm not sure I would want to be the one taking them.
But it's probably memories for a lifetime for them. So congratulations, ladies. Job well done. We'll see you back on the court here starting this week in cheering on for your Knights, and hopefully we'll see them down at Southwestern High School for the girls at that regional. So congratulations to them. Let's get this. For Saturday, you and I, along with our team. Now, what people need to understand, especially with a wrestling tournament, okay, we have to put together an entire team. And that team is at least 7, but we're better off if we have 8.
Yeah.
And so normally these tournaments start at 9 o'clock for the sectionals and regionals. And we were over at Richmond High School, you and I, at 7:30.
7:30.
Yeah. And Jerry Middleton was there with us. And we got all set up and we got ready to go. We tested our equipment, tested our speed. We're ready to go, and then we try to start streaming, and we run into a problem. Okay.
Not of our making.
No, not of our making, and I'm not going to put the blame on anybody. As a matter of fact, the staff over at Richmond was great, right? They
tried.
If you have to understand, this is a big event, and if you're an athletic director or you're working as part of the athletic director's team, you're on the move that day. Yeah. There's a lot of moving parts to these tournaments, and so you're busy. You're doing other things. But I want to give a shout out to Rachel. I don't know Rachel's last name. If you go over to Richmond High School, you will find Rachel. She did her best, okay? She did what she could do, and I appreciate it a lot, all that she did, because it wasn't like she didn't have other things to do. It was a very busy day, and, she had other things to do, but she took her time to help us. Robert Lee's the athletic director there. He tried to help as best he can, get the IT guys in there. I'm not a tech guy, Jeff, but I think we ran into a firewall.
We did.
That's what I was told, anyways. And we couldn't bust the wall down.
No.
We tried. We did everything, and we stayed for quite a while.
Stayed to the end.
Yeah, you stayed to the end, but my team, the rest of the guys.
Yeah.
They stayed till about 10:30.
You can't leave if there's wrestling going on.
Yeah, and I stayed to the end too.
Yeah.
And I sat up with you guys, and so we watched the whole thing, and we're going to discuss it with Todd. But the frustration comes. We had it set up. We had a great show planned. We were going to get some of the wrestlers on, and interview them, and boom, weren't able to do it. So we apologize to anybody who was looking forward to that, because people do watch. We do find that out. And Jeff you do your homework, all right?
Yeah.
And I want to tell you folks, when Jeff comes to a wrestling tournament, he does his homework and he knows the participants. And, that's the old wrestling coach in you.
It is.
And so you come prepared, and I appreciate it, because I'm just a talking head. That's all I am. I'm learning a lot about wrestling, but I'm just a talking head, and you're our content expert. So now we've learned something, and next year
won't happen again.
It will not. As long as I am taking breath, okay, and breathing, and involved in this, that will never happen again. Okay, but enough of that. Well, let's start out. We've got a boys basketball team here, Jeff. That's 18-1.
Yes.
I mean, they're really cruising along. 18-1. Now, I don't know. I don't go that far back in history, but I don't know if they've ever been 18-1. Northeastern. Brent Ross, and you and I were discussing this a little bit on air, and you described it perfectly.
Yeah, I don't know about records.
Right.
I don't know about that, but I know that as long as Brent has been here, they are competitive.
Yeah.
He takes what he has and he develops them and has a quality program year in and year out. Which before we go too awful far, I wanted to make a comment here. So Northeastern's a little 2A school.
Out here in the middle of the
You've
cornfields.
had a massive winter sports season. Your basketball team, boys and girls, your wrestling program, and your cheerleaders, that's likely to not happen again in many, many years. Yeah. I mean, you guys you're really doing something.
Yeah, it's not like you're at Ben Davis and you get the pick of the litter, and or Warren Central or Carmel, where there's plenty of money. We're around here. There's not lots and lots of money.
But you have people like Brent though that develop what he has and puts a quality product on the court.
Yeah, and that goes all the way down, way down to the the little kids program, and you get a lot of people who give time. A lot of volunteers along that chain who, they're not the face of the program, but boy, without them you can't do it.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
But, as long as I've been following Northeastern sports, you can always count on Brent to be competitive. Now they're not going to win all the time. They're not going to win every sectional, and they haven't. And their goal is, I think right now, if you were to ask them, is get to that semi-state. Because they've been close many times, several times, but to get to that semi-state, and see where it goes from there.
Of course.
But,
anything can happen at that point.
Yeah, so they've got a really good team this year. They got a good bunch of guys. I think they're unselfish, and part of that is the coaching staff too. They instill that in them, and the thing about Brent is, and I don't want Brent, if you're watching, I don't want your head to get too big, but. He's got a coaching staff that he utilizes them. Those guys are coaching their backsides off in every game. They're not just sitting on the bench doing nothing. They're coaching. If you happen to notice that, and Brent relies on them to do those things.
Good coaches do exactly that.
Yeah, he's got Jeremy and Brian, Jeremy Everman and Brian Maurer. They're into it, and they're not sitting still. They're coaching. Okay. And so they definitely use that team approach. It takes, you gotta have a lot of very secure person to allow your coaching staff to do the coaching, and so, But anyways, I digress. The guys are 18-1. They're undefeated in the conference. Their one loss was they went up to Lapel and gave them a battle. And Lapel's always a pretty good program. And it looks like they've got a good team this year. But they lost that game. But that's a game that they could have won. That's pretty evenly matched. Hagerstown came to town, and Knights won by 35 to 4. In that neighborhood. So they really, played well. It's a conference game. Conference games mean more, I think, because you want to win that conference championship. So, congratulations to the guys. They won the game and won rather convincingly. So, here's what we do, Jeff. I know you're not here a lot, but Noah Payne, the senior, was our player of the game. So let's go to that video, Aiden, and let's see what Noah had to say after the game.
Noah Payne, 31 points tonight. You were feeling it.
Yeah, I was feeling all right.
Well, feeling all right. You were lighting the threes up there in the first half, got the scoring rolling. And then, late in the second half, you're going up there some off-balance, one leg like Michael Jordan going in there, that little flip with the wrist and hitting those shots. What about those?
Well, I know my coaches don't really like them because they say it's an off-balance shot, but I've worked on those since I was really little, so I have confidence in myself to make those. So.
Well, yeah, you have some confidence because you were hitting some of those tonight, and it was looking great. So you guys shot the lights out from three tonight as a team. You really shot the ball well. What do you think about that?
I think we're the best shooting team in 2A, in my opinion. I think we can all light it up. Anybody that gets in the game, besides maybe Sam, but man, I just think that we're a really good shooting team. I think we can keep that up.
Don't tell Sam that because he says he's a three-point shooter. In his mind, he thinks that. In reality, I'm not sure, but he might launch it. I thought he was going to shoot a three out there earlier, and he sat there and oh no, I'm going to pass it off. So coming up next, who do you guys got coming up next?
Union County Tuesday.
Union County Tuesday. That's down there, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's always a tough place to play down in Union County down there. But, hey, you know what? It's another TEC game. You guys are still sitting on top, undefeated in the TEC still. Moved to 18-1 on the season.
Yes, sir.
So that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to wrap things up here. It's getting a little bit late tonight. And that was Noah Payne. We appreciate you stopping by on the Subway Player of the Game tonight. A great night, 31 points. Really lit it up. And also, the nice thing is you had some great assists, too.
Yes, sir. That's my favorite part of my game is my passing, so I try to get my assists.
And that one that you went on that drive down there, Coach Beatty and myself said, probably should have shot that.
Yeah,
but being unselfish, there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, welcome back to Knightline. That was Noah's new to the school this year. He's a senior, but it seems like, Jeff, that he's really settled in on the team. And this team is good. I mean, they're going to – this year's sectional is going to be a lot tougher than it's been probably the last year or so. You got Centerville's back in, and Winchester's now in the sectional. So it's going to be a different sectional.
Right, different
Teams.
teams.
Yeah, different teams. You're also going to have Shenandoah. Northeastern plays them every year, or they have been. They've been on the schedule. So really looking forward to that sectional. But before that, the Knights have 4 games left. This week, tomorrow night, they'll be going down in your neck of the woods, playing Union County. And for some reason, Union County plays them tough. It doesn't matter what the record is.
They may not like Northeastern.
Well, they might not be. I know there's always some. I know in baseball there was some. That competitiveness there.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah. So, but that's like every sport, right? Sure. And with Northeastern, with the girls and the boys, there's a target on their back.
Sure.
Because they're winning. Mm-hmm. And whenever you're winning, people will give that extra effort, and you want to beat that team.
Yes.
And we totally get it. Look at yesterday's Super Bowl, the Chiefs and the Eagles. Everybody wanted the Chiefs, to lose, right? Because they were winning. Yeah. All right, so they had a target on their back. So, anyways, so this week they'll be away at Union County. That game, JV at 6:00. So go on down in Union County and support the guys. They got a good team this year, and they deserve your support. And Friday night they'll be home to try 2 big conference games this week. The Friday night game we'll have right here on the Knights Broadcasting Network. We'll be on the air probably around 5:55 with the JV, and I'll be on that call with Don Beatty. I don't know why I called him Baker. Don Beatty and I will be on that call. Jerry will be out of town. So lots going on with boys basketball. Hopefully they can continue their winning ways. So, well, we're going to take a break. And here's a segment I'm sure you're looking forward to, Jeff. We're going to talk wrestling. Probably 20 minutes of wrestling. And Todd Kroll's coming in. So we're going to... A lot of success in that Knights wrestling program this year.
Yeah.
And we're going to break it down with Todd. And you know what? We probably won't have enough time. But
Probably not.
but we're going to try our best. All right, we'll be back after these messages. You are watching Knightline, and we are live.
At Kate's Family Eye Care, we value a family-friendly atmosphere, offering high-quality eye exams. Our expert staff utilizes the latest techniques in eye care. We have a large selection of affordable glasses that are unique to our area. We are proud supporters of the Northeastern Knights and wish all the teams the best of luck.
Go Knights!
We would love to invite you to LifeSpring Students, our youth group at LifeSpring Church that is just south of Northeastern on 27. We meet from 7 to 8:30 on most Thursdays, but the doors open at 6:30. You can grab some pizza or a snack from our cafe and then hang out with your friends until 7 p.m. We have basketball, dodgeball, gaga ball, and other activities for you to enjoy. At 7, our student band leads us in some worship through music, and we have a lesson from God's Word, the Bible. We then split into small groups based on grade and gender to apply what we have learned and pray with one another. After small group, students are invited to hang out until 9 p.m. when we close. LifeSpring Students is a great way to get to know God and meet some new friends. It is open for any student in grades 6 through 12, and we would love to invite you. Find out more at lifespring.tv/students.
KOA exit 151A, registration in the general store. It's a family-owned campground with pull-through parking for RVs or travel trailers with full hookups. Rent a cabin. Relax at one of the fire pits or picnic by the pond. A playground for the kids, or get in around the golf before dinner. Take a water-soaking hayride, lay out by the pool, and then take a dip.
Well, welcome back to Knightline, and we're live, brought to you by Astral Industries of Lynn, Indiana. If you get a chance, go north on 27, and you can go to Lynn and go visit Astral Industries. We appreciate their sponsorship, as well as we appreciate all of our sponsorships. All right, Jeff. This is Todd Kroll. You guys met off the air, head wrestling coach. Todd, how you doing?
Good.
You've been a busy man lately, it looks like. You have a lot going on with your wrestling program right now, and a lot of success, and I kind of want to go through that success with you. So first of all, let me talk about the first thing, and I think you and I have talked about it. You fill all your weight classes, or for the most part, most of them.
Right.
Talk about the importance of that in a wrestling program when you're wrestling in meets.
It's huge because it all boils down to team points, especially when it comes to conference, sectional, things like that, to be competitive. A couple years ago we had, I want to say, 6 conference champs, but we still came in third. Winchester did about the same thing this year. You got to have those points on the backside. Even if they're not winning the weight classes, they're winning team points by advancing through the backside of the bracket.
And now I want to ask you, a lot of meets that I've been to, you get a lot of teams that are short on weight classes, I guess. So that's a big advantage, right? If you can at least fill the weight classes just like you just described.
It is. I know in the years past, for me, when we come to the dual meets, it's not as much as winning the meets as getting all my wrestlers matches to get them ready for this time of year, come sectional, conference, regional.
Right.
So lots of times I'll bump a kid up to get a good match versus just taking a forfeit. And sometimes that will cost us a duel, but I think in the long run, preparing for the end of the season, that's what you got to do. It's not about a dual record for me.
I always went into the season with the attitude that it was my job to get my guys beat. It was their job to prove me wrong. So I would always do just like you're saying. We're moving our guys around. If you lose a dual meet and I'm ready for conference or I'm ready for tournament time, that's the goal.
We wrestled 18, and you always see at least one, but we try and you choose odd or evens at the beginning of a dual meet to see who has to report first to the table and who gets choice first in the match. And we usually try and pick to where our better wrestlers have to report second, because lots of times people will try and dodge those wrestlers. And this year we lost a dual meet because we didn't get the choice we wanted, and then they dodged one of our best wrestlers, and we ended up losing by 4 points when we would have won that match.
Well, I've
It
seen
does happen.
Yeah, I've
seen it many times.
Well, I've seen that you guys strategizing
Yep.
before a dual meet. I mean, the coaches are looking over, I guess it's a scorebook or whatever you're doing, and you're looking around the room, seeing who's there. There's a lot of jockeying going
There
on,
is.
Jeff. Is that how
There
that
is.
works? I mean, I got 2 wrestling guys right here, and I'm just the observer, actually. All right, so a lot of success this year, Todd, individually and as a team. Let's go over team first. Tri-Eastern Conference champions, first time in a long time. Congratulations, by the way. I'm assuming there's a trophy that goes with that somewhere.
Yeah, there is.
It'll be in the trophy case.
Yep, it's there now.
So, talk about that a little bit, and what does it do to, number one, your program, and number 2, the team, the people on the team right now, being able to win that conference.
The senior group we have right now, not all of them were starting wrestlers, but we have 9 seniors. We started the season with 18 wrestlers. We lost 1 or 2 throughout the season. So our team we got a couple middle classmen, but it's either all freshmen or all seniors for the most part. These seniors that I have, we've been coaching and wrestling together for a long time. The Whites, since they were 6-7 years old with Heather and them. So bringing that team up, it means a lot. The last couple years we thought we were going to be in the running for it, but we just gave up too many forfeits to gain points on the backside. So I think it was huge for them to win. It's something that they've wanted to do. So just overall, it was great. It was nice to bring that trophy home for a change.
And I want to give a shout out to the guys at Hagerstown. They put on a nice show over there. They really did. At least I thought. I'm big on pomp and circumstance, and whatever those fireballs they were throwing up. I'm big on that. Let's make it. This is a fun event. Let's make these guys, pump them up. So anyway, so congratulations, Tri-Eastern Conference Championship. Now Corey told me 1984. I've heard 85. What's the true story here?
I think the banner in the gym says 85.
85. Okay.
So it should have been 40 years to the.
Boy, that's a long drought there.
It is.
So now let's kind of progress here. You go to Centerville, and sectionals come along, and you got now you got a lot of teams, and a team that's traditionally strong in that sectional is Newcastle. Okay. And if you remember that one, Jeff, it was neck and neck, right?
It was
to
neck
the
and
end.
neck. I mean, it's kind of like Todd said, though. It was the backside that won that for them.
Yeah. No.
They
Describe
performed
with the backside. What does that mean?
The 3-4 matches.
Okay.
They picked up bonus points. They were pennant in the 3-4 match.
Yeah.
I was watching. I see in the distance, and I said, I'm looking at the finals matches up, and I kind of got a pretty good clue who's going to come out on top in most of those.
Right.
But that over there is the wild card, because you go in there and they add points ahead of time. So when you're going into the 3-4 match, the points are even. The only person that scores in that 3-4 match is the person who wins, and he'll get the difference in points between fourth and third. And if he gets a pin, he gets two
extra
more.
points, yeah.
Yeah.
And
so
they pinned a lot.
all right. So for those of you who are confused at home, don't worry about it. I'm confused. All right.
Back in my day, we didn't have track wrestling. Okay,
Yeah.
We kept that on a piece of paper.
Yeah. I don't know.
Running scores.
I don't know how you kept up with it. It was, thank God for track wrestling, and that it helped us out when we were broadcasting, else we wouldn't know what was going on. But anyways, I think the gist is, for the average person who doesn't know anything about wrestling, when you go to these tournaments, there's usually a championship match, right? Then there's one for third and fourth, and sometimes fifth and sixth, right? And a lot of times it's those third and fourth and fifth and sixth matches that are going to determine who the team, who's going to win the team, or at least that's what I've learned over the years. So. And it got fun. I mean, it was. You guys were in it right there. I mean, it was a half a point you were up, and we were continuing updating. But second place finish. So talk about that second place finish, and you took a lot of wrestlers to regional too.
As long as I've been with the program, it's probably the most we've taken to regional.
Yeah.
I mean, when I started with the program, we took more to regional this year than we had on the team when I started helping with.
Okay.
So it was, they've worked hard. They've put in the work. They come every day, and for those of you that don't know, wrestling is grueling. Those practices are hard.
Yeah.
That room's hot, and it's brutal some days, but they stuck it out. They definitely deserved it. It was a little heartbreaking to be that close and not being able to pull it off. I had kind of figured team scores up after brackets came out, and I figured going into the finals we needed to be up by 8 points, at least 8 points, and for it to work out in our favor. And I think going into the finals we were up by 1.
All right.
So
you do look at those things, because I talked to you just before the finals, and you said, "Well, we don't think about that." So you were doing.
We always think about
you were doing
that.
your calculation.
I don't talk to the kids
And by
about
the way,
that.
Coach, you ended up actually having 11 at the regional,
Right.
because your alternate got in. So
Yeah.
that is a really good number.
Yep.
Yeah, that is, and again, we were talking about this earlier, Jeff. Small school, we're out here in the corn stalks, and there's not a lot of dedication. What does it take? I mean, you've got yourself as head coach, but there's a lot of help around you too. So
Corey Baker used to be head coach,
Yeah.
kind of stepped down. He's still in and out. Ryan Hartman, Jackson Ramsey, both former wrestlers that
Yeah.
both help out. Sometimes we have former wrestlers that will stop in for a day here or there, just to kind of check things out and give old pointers, and but overall it's We have a good middle school, couple guys that are helping with that program now that's really trying to build it back up.
Yeah.
Recruitment's always tough.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of your successful schools have teachers that are coaches.
Right.
That's something we don't have.
Yeah.
When you have a teacher, they can help recruit all day, every day.
Because you have a real job, right, out there, and that you got to make a living
Yep.
at,
Yep.
and this is your passion and side job,
Yep.
I guess. And I can see where that would make a difference. If
It
you're
does.
a teacher, you're with the kids every single day, and I would think, and I'm going to direct that to both you guys. There's a lot of kids that are walking around here, or at Centerville, or Richmond, or where Union County, where you're from, Jeff, that should be wrestling. And could be wrestling and might achieve some level of success. And, you know, really, if you, and I've always said this, if you're a football player and you don't have a winter sport, what should you be doing,
You
John?
should be wrestling.
You should be
100%.
wrestling. Even if it's just to, well, I taught Zane Snyder, what got you into wrestling? Well, I wanted to be a better football player.
And that'll do it.
You know, look. I mean, you know, look how he's done. Had a great football season, and he's
Yep.
had a lot of success wrestling
Yeah.
too.
Yep.
We'll talk about him in a second, along with the others there. But I'm a big proponent of, you know, wrestling is fun. It's competitive. It's hard work. Okay, but it will build.
Will make you a better person.
Make you a better person, Jeff. And you know what? You're an old Navy guy. You
And
know
there's no, it doesn't matter what size school you're from, you can still compete against the big guys in this sport.
Well, we saw at regionals Milan High School. Now, how big is Milan? They're smaller than Northeastern, right?
About the same, though.
Yeah.
I mean, within reason.
Yeah, but they're competitive.
They're
and
good all the time, and it's the same reason they have a good coach, and they've been strong. Actually, he was there back when I was coaching, so he's been there a
Been there
while.
well.
all right, so let's go on. So you had regionals, some successes. There's always a disappointment or two, obviously, but you know you had some successes. Let's go up the weight class. Heather, you know, again, she just kind of dominated that weight class at the regional. I think this is her 4th year in a row, right?
And she's won it 3 years.
times.
3 years, that's right. Okay.
She took second her sophomore year.
Okay, and really, congratulations to her. I would say, Jeff, dominant fashion.
Yeah, so coach is also dad, so he's
Yeah.
not going to brag
No,
on,
I know.
on his daughter, so I'm going to do it
There,
for him.
there we go.
So in that regional, I'm going to tell you that I think she was the most technical wrestler in the building. She's never out of position. She's always attacking, which I love. See, a lot of kids get defensive, and in wrestling, the worst thing you can do is sit around and be defensive. Heather does not do that. She's constantly attacking, which means her opponent can't get into their offense, and they're constantly on the defensive. So he's going to make a mistake as he's moving around, he, she, whichever it happens to be. As they're trying to defend, they're going to make a mistake, and she capitalizes. That's what I saw. I mean, she was technically the best wrestler in there, and that included a state champ.
Well, I mean, that's you alluded, Jeff. We're not trying to cut you out of here, Todd, but you know, with Heather always moving forward,
Tax.
and,
I love it.
and that type of thing. All right, so she's going on. She's the number 1 seed, and semi-states are in Newcastle. It's a great venue. If you get a chance, go down there. Starts at 9 o'clock, right?
Yep.
Is you know, national anthem, and then on they wrestle.
And that is a meat grinder semi-state.
Oh, yeah.
That thing is a beast. I've wrestled there many times with my guys. You know, you've got Ron Colley there, you got Cathedral there, Perry's there.
Warren.
It's
Got a
very,
lot.
very competitive with very good wrestlers.
So every step in the tournament that you go in the state tournament, the talent level elevates.
Yeah.
It's typical, just like any other sport. All right, so who else made it? We also had, Thane Burgers going.
Burger,
You
yeah.
know, I got to tell you, I saw Thane the other night at basketball. He was beaming, ear to ear, big smiles. I'm moving on, and I know for Thane, tell me about Thane a little bit. He's just such a good kid, So
He's an excellent kid. He's not super technical. Honestly, he's taught me a lot in the last couple of years, just in the fact that you can't coach everybody the same. You can't force some kids to wrestle the style that you think is best. You have to let him go out and wrestle his style and his pace of match, and he does well at it. And I tell you what, him beating the Centerville kid at sectional and then qualifying was some pretty big highlights this year.
Yeah. I mean, I would love. Now he's probably going to have a tough match because he's a 4 versus a 1.
Right.
But I would love to see him win that first match. I think that would be awesome.
We're 0-0 right now.
Well, it is. I mean, nobody's winning, right, Jeff? Everybody.
That's right.
So that would be awesome there.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Yep, it doesn't matter what they've done in the past when you step on that line.
Okay, so another wrestler we have, Caleb Coe. He's been around for a long time. So talk about Caleb and.
There's probably lots of days there's not anybody that works any harder in the room or wants it any worse than what he does. I mean, he puts in the work year round. Unfortunately, going into regionals last week, he was sick, missed some practices, and honestly, I think when he came in, he wrestles 190, and when he came into Wednesday at practice, I think he was around 181, 182, something. Way underweight just because he'd been sick and drained. And, he should have been in the championship match. He knows that. It's not any fault of his own. I mean, he wrestled solid. But we just got to come and capitalize this week.
Yeah. So he's a 3 seed, I think. So
he'll be wrestling a 2 off the bat. But.
All right. So hey, like you said, Jeff. What's the score?
Yeah, everything's even.
Nothing. And then the other qualifier was Zane Snyder at 2:15. So talk about Zane. And
Saturday he probably listened and wrestled the best he has all season. It's the time of year you want people, just kind of your wrestlers and your athletes clicking and getting in their groove, and he wrestled really well. I think in his finals match, he got a little excited and attacked a little bit more than what he should have, and got in a little bit of a bad position. But that was a really winnable match.
I thought so too.
He, it puts him in a good place for this weekend. Honestly, looking at the brackets, he might have a better draw than the Milan kid that won last weekend.
Okay.
And just. Like I said, any point in time, there's upsets. But I think he has a pretty good draw. He has,
and that weight class is very much like heavyweight too. If somebody makes a mistake and you catch them on their back, it's a lot harder to get off your back when the 215-pounder is squeezing on you than when a 6 or 12-pounder.
Yep.
Showing my age, 13.
But so I mean, I think he's in a really good spot.
Well. Good luck to all the wrestlers that are going down there. Now, the goal is to qualify for the state tournament. And to do that, what do you have to do, Todd?
Got to win your first 2.
All right.
After that, obviously, you want to continue winning. You win your first 3, you're in the championship. And you wrestle for first and second. If you lose that third one, then you're going to bump down and wrestle for third and fourth.
Right.
But you got to win those first 2.
So the first 2 you win. Now you're wrestling for seeding after that, and you always want to be the number 1.
Which is very important.
Yeah.
Yep. Because if you're number 4, you're going to wrestle the number 1 guy from another semi-state.
Yeah, a potential state champion. That type of thing. Has there ever been? I mean, you guys have been around a long time. Has there ever been a 4? Come out and be a state champion?
Oh yeah,
has that has happened?
Oh yeah, I can tell you several. I've taught now. Yeah, we won't do that because that's not real. But yes, I can personally tell you I know at least 2 that ended up being state champions.
Wow.
That were 4th at the Newcastle semi-state.
All right, so it can happen. So hey, so you're telling
and a guy who was a runner-up.
So you're,
from Rushville.
you're telling me there's a chance, Jeff. Is
I'm
what you're
telling
saying.
you, there's always a chance in wrestling.
All right.
Down 14-0 is okay as long as the whistle don't go and you don't give up that last point. You can still pin the guy.
Well,
we saw it.
Yeah, I know, and it's we've seen a lot of exciting things over the years. I'll tell you one of the more fun. We're going back to last year when Michael Henderson turned the tide on that kid from Batesville, I think. He who happened to win this year.
Right.
And boy, that was exciting. But that's not the only example. We can go back and have some of those. So it is a lot of fun. It does get exciting. And like you said, you can be, as long as you're not 15-0.
That's right.
You're
15
always
they
in the
make
match.
you quit.
Yeah, you're always in the match. And we've seen guys be up big, and then all of a sudden, one mistake, they're on their back, and it's hard to get out. Well, Todd, we could go on for 2 more hours here, but we've probably come to our end of our time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Listen, good luck
Yes.
this weekend.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Coach. It was a great year.
You know, hopefully, if you want to wrestle, come wrestle. If you're a kid, wrestle. It's a good sport. You get a lot of discipline, and you know, memories last a lifetime. So, all right, we're going to take a break here. When we come back, Jeff and I are going to break down girls sectional basketball, and a lot of good things happening there. You're watching Knightline, and we're live.
Being aligned with the Better Homes and Gardens brand brings with it a unique approach to identifying, marketing, and servicing distinctive homes. We know that your experience while buying and selling your home is as important as the homes being bought and sold. That's why our affiliated agents are passionate about personalizing every part of your real estate experience to ensure that every moment is distinctive.
Do you have a big event coming up soon? Dejo Photos has you covered. Check us out on Facebook. We are professional photographers who strive to capture all of your special moments, such as family portraits, senior photos, live action sports, graduations, and so much more. If you don't think photos are important, wait until they are all you have left. Contact us via email at info@dejophotos.com or call us at 765-277-0047. Dejo Photos, capturing memories one photo at a time.
From our trucks to their lunch trays, to your local hospital, to your favorite pub, and to your kitchen table. For more than 60 years, Dot Foods and Dot Transportation have been stocking the shelves of your hometown. Sure, we've grown a lot, but at our core, we're still small-town, family-run businesses that care about our communities and the people who keep us running. Join the Dot family today and be part of something bigger.
You're good at basement basketball.
We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
In this market, finding a home you love and actually closing the deal is a cause for celebration. And it all starts with a competitive edge from First Financial Bank. We'll get you pre-qualified fast so you can get your offer in first. We even offer programs with low down payment options and reduced closing costs. Plus, our friendly local team is always here to help. A bank that's ready to help you find a home and a reason to celebrate, however you choose to. That's First.
First! Harmon sheds are custom built to your specifications and needs. But wait, there's more! Harmon sheds build privacy fences, decks for your pool, beautifully designed decks for all around your home, and detached pavilions. Let Joe and the crew do all the work, so all you need to do is relax.
We're dedicated to great results just for you. Johnson Chiropractic.
So I recommend Dr. Johnson all the time over the years. Many people have come to Dr. Johnson for my recommendations. And if people live 50 miles away and they tell us they have this problem and they're going to have an operation, we say, no, go see our chiropractor, Dr. Johnson.
We're dedicated to great results just for you. Johnson Chiropractic.
This is Rick Fletcher. When my car needs repair, I take it to 715 Sim Hargen Parkway in Richmond, home of Knuckle Busters. With their ASE certified technicians, why would you go anyplace else? They repair domestic and imports, air conditioners to Z-bars. Knuckle Busters Auto Repair. Call 765-488-1470 and tell them to go Knights!
Are you being bugged about your floral needs? The Leaning Lily, 927 South 9th, is a full-service florist with lots of great gift ideas like wind chimes, potted plants, hanging baskets, teddy bears, and much, much more. Convenient delivery available to residential, the hospital, and local funeral homes. The Leaning Lily has bouquets to say, I love you, to weddings to say, I do. The Leaning Lily, we have you covered.
Well, welcome back to Knightline, brought to you by Astral Industries of Lynn, Indiana. If you're looking for a job or you want to update a career or you're just interested, take a ride up on, go north on 27th to Lynn and stop in and talk to the folks at Astral Industries. Jeff, you know, it was great having Todd here, and I
enjoyed that.
Yeah, I bet you two old wrestling guys here, you know, kind of going back and forth, and so that was fun. Good luck to those guys. You know, if we could send two of those kids to state championship, I think that's a great accomplishment.
I think it's a
love to send.
I mean, we get one, it's an accomplishment.
Yeah, love to send all four. But if you can get two for a small school like this,
yeah,
that'd be a great accomplishment. All right, so let's talk about the girls basketball team. They are back-to-back sectional champions. So you watched a lot of the games because you have a granddaughter that plays for Union County.
I have a granddaughter that plays for Union County, and I have a granddaughter that plays for Northeastern.
Yep. So you're sitting right down the middle here, trying to figure out.
So I'm at a lot of Northeastern girls games.
Well, the key there is Katie's a senior at Union County, and Macy is a freshman.
Yep.
So she's got a lot. She's got a lot ahead of her, and so you have plenty of opportunity there. Really, it was a great sectional. I mean, when you go to a tournament like a sectional, a lot of times you have a lot of disparity in talent and, you know, records and that type of thing. But really, we went there on Tuesday night, the first night of the sectionals. You had two games, Union County and Shenandoah. That thing went right down to the end.
It did.
And it was exciting. I mean, it was really an exciting game. And the Patriots came out on top. The other game, you had Centerville and Hagerstown. Now, Hagerstown won one game the whole year. Centerville beat them by 20 points twice during the year. But there's another game that was neck and neck the whole way.
Right down to the end.
Right down to the end. And that, from our standpoint, you know, as a broadcasting team, that's exactly what we wanted.
Sure,
you know, we wanted those.
Well, tournament time is different. It is Indiana.
Yeah. There's definitely, you can see it out there. No matter how good your team is, you can see the nerves, right?
Nerves,
especially right at the beginning. Speaking of nerves, let's talk about our Lady Knights. Their first game against Centerville. Now they've played Centerville twice this year, beat them twice, probably by an average of 40 points. Okay, there's just a disparity going on, and this happens in high school sports, you know, cycles, all right? But boy, I'll tell you what, Jeff, the Friday night game at halftime, Centerville was ahead.
They were.
And so I don't know if you were watching the game.
I was there.
There,
Yeah, I was
okay.
there.
So
I mean,
give me
Macy's there. So
yeah, give me your thoughts when you were watching it.
So it's hard to get up for a team that you have beaten a few times, let alone beaten like that. So, I think Centerville, we talked about that before, they got nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose.
So they're going out there doing their thing.
Yeah.
And Northeastern really wasn't playing their game the first.
And they actually had everything to lose, you know,
sure.
honestly.
They really weren't playing their game. They weren't playing to their strengths. Now, in saying that, that third quarter might have been as good a quarter of basketball as you'll see.
Yeah, finally.
On a girls' court.
Yeah,
I mean,
finally.
they just exploded.
Yeah, finally we get to see what the Lady Knights are all about. The they want to run. They're
run.
fast, and they want to move the ball up and down the court.
They run. They're big, good rebounding, quick outlet pass, and Ava's gone.
Yeah.
And Addie's already down there.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good way to describe that. So the Knights ended up winning by 30. Didn't feel like a 30-point game, but that's the way they ended up. So they move on to the championship game. In the second game, Union County comes back. They have another tough game against a really big Winchester team.
Yeah, they had 3 6-footers in the front line.
Yeah.
And that's tough because that's what Union County does not have.
No,
no height.
Yeah, that's right. And and with Winchester, pretty good athletes.
Yeah.
And Union County, they're quick. They have some quick players.
Well, I think that was the difference in the game.
Yeah. So there was another game that went right down to the wire when finally Union County at the end, last minute or so finally put some points up. And so
they went on a 9-0 run.
Yeah, so we have some great games going on right up to this point in the tournament. So we get to Saturday night. Now, we've been there before. You've been there before because you have other granddaughters who have played. You've seen them beat Northeastern in sectional finals or semifinals with your other granddaughters. So, there's the stage right there. Here comes Union County. They played a couple weeks ago. That game was a grinder.
It was.
And so you really didn't know what to expect. And it was close in the first half. I mean,
very similar to the Centerville game.
Yeah, very similar. Second half, the Knights, in the first half, I think the advantage went to Union County because we were playing their style. And they were doing
slowing
what they
them down.
They were doing
let
what they
them slow down.
Second half, the Knights were able to start playing their style, and they started to pull away, and they win by 20 points. And so they're sectional champions. So congratulations to the Lady Knights. But really, it was a fun sectional from a fan standpoint, okay? If you're out there just watching, these games were tight. Even that championship game, it was not a blowout.
Northeastern's 24-1 for a reason.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, you break down that Northeastern team, and you've got little microcosms of talent that do their thing, and when they're all doing their thing together, they're not beatable.
It's a beautiful thing.
I mean, you got speed with Addie and Ava. And then I really like the Gammons girl inside.
She's got some talent.
I like her.
Yeah. All right, so we put together a little sights and sounds of sectional here. So we want to go to that. Then Aiden, after that, let's go to commercials. When we come back, we're going to discuss, preview the regional game this weekend, and then we'll wrap it up. This is Knightline, and we're live.
Noah Payne, 31 points tonight. You were feeling it.
Yeah, I was feeling all right.
Well, feeling all right. You were lighting the threes up there in the first half. Got the scoring rolling. And then, late in the second half, you're going up there with some off-balance, one leg like Michael Jordan going in there, that little flip of the wrist and hitting those shots. What about those?
Well, I know my coaches don't really like them because they say it's an off-balance shot, but I've worked on those since I was really little, so I have confidence in myself to make those. So.
Well, yeah, you have some confidence because you were hitting some of those tonight, and it was looking great. So you guys shot the lights out from three tonight as a team. You really shot the ball well. What do you think about that?
I think we're the best shooting team in 2A, in my opinion. I think we can all light it up. Anybody that gets in the game, besides maybe Sam. But, man, I just think that we're a really good shooting team. I think we can keep that up.
Don't tell Sam that because he says he's a three-point shooter. in his mind, he thinks that. In reality, I'm not sure, but he might launch it. I thought he was going to shoot a three out there earlier, and he sat there and oh no, I'm going to pass it off. So coming up next, who do you guys got coming up next?
Union County Tuesday.
Union County Tuesday. That's down there, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's always a tough place to play down at Union County down there, but hey. You know what? It's another TEC game. You guys are still sitting on top, undefeated in the TEC still. Moved to 18-1 on the season.
Yes, sir.
So that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to wrap things up here. It's getting a little bit late tonight. And Noah Payne, we appreciate you stopping by on the Subway Player of the Game tonight. A great night, 31 points. Really lit it up. And also, the nice thing is you had some great assists, too.
Yes, sir. That's my favorite part of my game is my passing, so I
well,
try to get my assists.
And that one that you went on that drive down there, Coach Beatty and myself said, probably should have shot that.
Yeah,
but being unselfish, there's nothing wrong with that.
Martin's Country Mart, US 27 Fountain City. Swing in and grab a coffee or a frazzle. Maybe a fountain drink at Martin's Country Mart. We also have all your favorite snacks, bottled drinks, and of course, sweet bakery items. Plenty of accessories for dinner. And don't forget the grill menu covering lunch, dinner, and of course, the kids' favorite, pizza. Martin's Country Mart, Fountain City.
Your school helps shape the person you become, opening your mind to new ideas and belonging to a community. Whether it's earning an advanced degree, joining the FFA, pushing your health and wellness, playing in the band, or playing on the field. It's a safe place where everyone knows your name, and a kid can be a kid. The halls of today filled with the leaders of tomorrow. Northeastern.
You've had a hard day at work and all you want to do is sit in your lounge chair in the nice cool air? Then it hits! The AC's not working. The living room feels like the Sahara Desert. Call Reynolds Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. In just a short time, it'll be nice and cool. And then all you'll need is a sign that says, "No penguins allowed." Call 765-966-0994. Reynolds Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Proud sponsors of the Knights. Did someone say boom, baby? Call Scoretti Pyrotechnics at 765-977-2757. Scoretti Pyrotechnics has performances for birthdays, weddings, school athletic events, other occasions, and of course, the 4th of July. Scoretti Pyrotechnics are proud supporters of Knights Athletics. Boom, baby! Smith, McQuiston, and Webster Funeral Home has proudly served the Fountain City area since 1886. From the time you walk up the steps, Funeral Director Keith Webster's goal is to carry forward the legacy of personal service established by the Smith and McQuiston families. Using modern technology and good old-fashioned attention to detail, we will strive to earn your confidence in us by treating families the way we think we would want to be treated. Smith, McQuiston, Webster Funeral Home. Rick, thank goodness somebody called timeout because I am hungry.
I'm starved, Jerry. Hey, with 3 different Richmond locations and 1 in Hagerstown, here's a Subway sandwich shop near you.
And you can always order off the app for curbside pickup. The drive-thru's always open, and the way that I prefer it, I just like to walk in.
Here's your sub.
Listen to Subway. Eat fresh.
Go Knights!
Well, welcome back to Knightline. My name is Rick Fletcher, and I'm here with our guest host, Jeff Matthews. Jeff, appreciate you joining us.
I'm enjoying it.
I'm glad you have. We had talked a lot about wrestling tonight. So the Lady Knights, they head to Shelbyville. They're going to Southwestern High School, which is kind of a small school out in the middle of a cornfield, just like we are
It
here.
is.
As a matter of fact, that's where they were last year in that regional. And they're going to play a team with championship pedigree, Heritage Christian. So what are our thoughts as we head down there?
Well, I mean, that Heritage Christian, their record is deceiving. They're a 500 ball club, on their record. However, their schedule is very strong.
Yeah.
They play a lot of big schools, and they played most of them competitively.
Yeah, they play a lot of indie-based
They
schools.
play Carmel,
Yeah.
they play Pendleton High. They play the big schools.
I haven't checked the John Harrell report yet, so I'm anxious to get to see that if he's put that out. But I'm going to give our ladies an even chance. Go down there
I
and win
completely
it.
agree.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to go a step further than that. I'm going to tell you, I think Northeastern is going to win.
That would be awesome. So that game is at 4:00. I packed the gym. Be down there. It's a 90-minute drive right from here. Okay, so get down there. It's in Shelby County, which is past Rushville, right? Is that where?
Yeah,
it
you
is?
go all the way. Yeah,
And
it's
so
pretty far down there.
It's down there. So get out there and go support the girls. They deserve you. I would love to fill up the stands with green and gold, and because I tell you what the advantage you have over a private school, their crowd won't be as big. Okay, typically what I've seen, we have more people here that are associated with the public school. So go down there, fill the gym. That game will be on the Knights Broadcasting Network, and Jerry Middleton and Brian Maurer will be on the call. They'll be on the air about 3:45, but get to the gym and you can watch the replay later. Jeff, we're overtime, and we don't get paid overtime around here.
I get you.
So we're going to have to get off the clock. Thanks for coming.
Glad to be here.
So we'll keep everybody up to date on the wrestling. Probably watch a little bit Saturday morning, see how the Knights do, and just see how it goes. All right, that's going to do it for this evening. Jerry and I will be back next week. Who knows who we'll have on? We'll figure that out. You've been watching Knightline, and we've been live.